even going to make another Could It Get Any Worse? But Sakamoto didn't. So here's Kinomi Master, the only other that had more than one vote. The world's power system is very broken. They treat being an adventurer as something only for those who have battle skills. There's no training or people that get strong except by the fruit. So how come he has a sword and gets a quest? Not only do they cut out any adventure that's not standard, why is there anything for those who wouldn't fight? Moreover, the sister sends the friend to the sacred city, they eat the fruit at the church. They seem to want the religion to have more control, but our hero can grow and have full boxes of evolution fruit? And the ones who died were part of the religion? Besides the priest's hand breaking, walk like an Egyptian. We have a broken street when he sells fruit, the stomp where he trains disappears, and they show another, the girl with monster's eyes, and using aura on the sword, to then use it again in the same attack's animation. Rewatching, I think the implication when they brought the girl was that she had lost her family in a terrible way, but the problem remains. Why him? And finally, if she used a few of the fruit, why wouldn't it count as more than one? I suppose it'd all be one substance, so a spoon can still be eating once, but the issue becomes, why doesn't he eat more? He could get many a power from that soup, or at least, if generic food equals 1, because he still has boxes. In a couple of days, he should be able to warp reality and be a better copy of the X-Men. The production ain't better. Now it's more like what I saw in Formaggio. More noticeable parts get more attention. It's very little, but there's a point the Sword Saint cries, so her eyes and his right after are better done. Still quite basic, but it almost seems on purpose, as if to be noticed after the broken eyes everywhere. We rewatch that ending, but with hard time more to the side. Baffled has pizza, but when the girl talks of eating it all, he wakes up and swallows 2 pieces quick. Almost like the trick from American Dad. Lena gives him water, is stopped before asking about the girl. I think it's meant as a running gag, but it's pretty dull. And she talks about not liking being in the group, implies being coerced, but says it's all good and justifies it to herself. Main guy is paid. For the ogre, they forgot the amoebas. Grouse ignores a complaint because who cares about ants? Main guy demands he lets Lena out of the group, says he heard it all, but he goes nowhere, and he's expelled by guards who weren't there. Separate from that, Lena says she wanted to leave, but Grouse goes to the door, says she can't beat him, slaps her, and says, let's save the world till we die. But the main guy challenges Grouse to a duel. It's pretty badly done. Main guy cannot best his speed, but Grouse is dumb. He just defends here and there, poorly animated. His ugly sword breaks, gets a broom, and says he couldn't hit him because he focused on his movements. Closes eyes and knocks him out with a single attack. Did you even go to his side mechanically? Grouse talks of purging the free, and here the broom gets an aura. Better than the first episode, since it's not a weapon. But then they only get cheap quests because the sister banned them, but they take them happily. Main guy talks of making an invocation and gives the group the name Luxaria, the sister planning to give them a dangerous quest. As I said, they try to have those who fight the system. Only, he got a quest beforehand, just went there with the monster. Why can't he do that again? The sister talks of history only remember the positive. Grouse treats people as insects. That is, we're in the sad, the system isn't bad, there's just some a-holes. They're a-holes, absolutely, but corruption and abuse are not just individual. Here, unfortunately, they think the bad king is the problem, instead of the why doesn't matter if you're doing the wrong thing. The worst are the women with Grouse, saying they can't be a part of sacred because it's a meritocracy, in the world where power is got by luck. And no one notices Kinomi Master would be the greatest power, which wants warriors but there's no training. It's just so lazy. My linguistic nerdiness forces me to say that Luxaria isn't incomplete light, as he says here. In every use of area I found, it would be place or group of light. It even seems to be the case in Japanese, though derived from area in English. Besides eyes falling to the side like Uma Thurman. For an anime that likes boobage, to the point of putting Christmas lights on some, there's a lot of poorly drawn boobage. To the point one of the women with Grouse tries to place a hand on her chest and... In fact, they try to use the light for emphasis, but there's no point. And finally, why does the main guy have cleavage? Seems uncomfortable. We start with phenomenal cosmic horses, meaning there's more years. We flash back to the premise, a race against time. But people disappeared for months, so something's wrong. They show an eclipse at the end, and the sister talks of someone who can't resist, so maybe that's it? But the attendant says it. How would she know? After leaving like this, and Lena coming in like Tobey Maguire, they get to the mansion, talk of having a house like that, leading the girl to jump and fall, and the solution is him creating a gust with an attack we never saw. Instead of the experienced adventurer, right after, there's a moment that shows her more capable than him for knowing how to use her skill. Hey, they wouldn't copy Asuna without showing she deserves the God of Swords love. Right? At least it took less time than SAO. But if you're gonna do it, it could have been sooner. No, make the guy out of nowhere pass wind. And it ends with her hitting the openings of an armor, which is right in the middle. It doesn't break or split open, so it'd be a weak point. That, after landing and having to fight zombies. He attacks one and beats it, and then they see they're adventurers, which makes him think he can't kill them. And she saves him. And the zombie says he can rest in peace. Again, the poorly built world breaks the idea. If zombies are common enough to be recognized, and what you can do is free them, why does the girl explain they'll bite and turn others? Adventurers don't know that's the case, and the way to show her skill is showing she knows where to hit the undead to defeat them. But the guy who thinks of being an adventurer since forever, the scribe and does the same right away. He didn't know what the undead were like? They suggest zombies having skills would be unexpected, but how would you not expect when not even expecting? Can we expect anything? Well, the dancing woman from the OP will show up, and seems to be chaotic. It might be good. Here's her dancing.
Corte rápido.
She uses a skirt frill on her Pacific line, but the rest is a one piece with garter belt. I think she was meant to be goth/Lolita, also being sensual/sexy, but the frill/skirt makes it dumb, half-baked, with the crookie effect, like in Sentai Red. As soon as you're not seeing it, you'll immediately forget someone tried to make a crotch equivalent of Hestia's ribbon from Danmachi. Her skill is necromancy, which are lines to control the zombies, though there are no lines till they're in. The villain uses dancing terms to give orders, but there's no reason, and the always tense lines go randomly. But they're way over 10 zombies, so what's it for? It's just a moment of the bad production. There's the girl hidden behind the main guy, her going low before falling, her removing the sword weird, and the dead guy being torn, despite the armor, her face at the end of the scene, and her boobs in the many times they get focus. The lines supposedly going to an undead each, but multiple going to the saint's colleagues. They're meant to be important, but outside of her showing up in the OP, they just attack. She cuts the line, they talk to her, and she has a special attack for funerals? It's got but battles. Not even the linguistic is fun for me, with the joke of the ballroom not being for balls.
But we've got the biggest balls of them all!
And the music and dance terms usage by the villain being pretty thrown in. They say the lines carry energy, and it seems meant to explain her power, but then we see it's just really poorly done Don Flamingo. When she shows up, the main guy says she doesn't look like a survivor. It's cause he knows she's a villain, right? Nope. He's surprised when she attacks. Besides that, we have a zombie that attacks his blind spot supposedly, followed by another from behind. The main guy seems to think it's a strategy, but it ends there. I think it's meant to make them think about her control, but they don't connect it. Then, when the main guy asks about her being able to make new undead, it seems out of nowhere. It's just for the next episode, which reveals an armored dragon or something. Not that it makes me want to see more, just like her evil organization or the church being bad. Oh, and when the girl goes piggyback so he can fight, it's amazing. Kinomi Master is extremely weak and poorly thought out. I didn't mention it, but it's all over-explained, and the characters seem to not know the world. Various details seem to start making a story, but then just stop. It seems to be just laziness. So much here could have been done better and with less effort. A still image for effect is better than one with a light that doesn't show the movement. A more limited text that's well reviewed works better than most. And if you're gonna do something something so standard like that? Even more so. Only watch it if you wanna get angry. Please don't you forget to subscribe and hit the bell.